Well, howdy, everybody. I thought since I ran into this problem a couple of days ago and I've been trying to correct it, I thought I would talk about alignment of the axe head to the stick. And since I was doing a batch of 9, I kind of streamlined the whole process where I would rough the handle, then I would shape the handle, then I would finish sand, then I would hang. So my mindset was different than just like doing a custom axe. I mean, I was still being as a, excuse me, being as a conscious of quality control as I can, but the whole goal was to keep moving. And I noticed on one of my axes that I had an alignment problem. And at first I thought it was the way that I hung it. And the more I tried to correct this, the more I realized that it was indeed the axe head itself and the way it was drifted. Now, am I upset about this? No, not at all. You should, checking this, doing this little check will save you a lot. Even with, if it's with a factory made, sometimes the drift is off. Now, like I said, am I upset about this? I am not upset about this whatsoever, because this misalignment is one head out of, I've been hanging James's heads for over a year and a half, and this is the first one that has been just slightly off. And if I have a new handle, I can compensate for it, but I was bringing this down like a normal axe head, and I ended up with my bit canted to the axis, the straight middle center line. There we go. I got it out. Anyway, all you have to do, it's just a quick check, is just take a little straight edge and hit your halfway points through the eye. And what you want to see is basically, I don't know if you can see that, you want to see that. And if it's going to be off, it needs to be microscopic, because it's like building a house. If you're 1/8 of an inch off at the bottom, by the time you go 8 feet up, you're off even more. You know, you're 8 feet times 1/8 of an inch. Now here's what we got going on with this guy. Whoops. Here we go. No spasms. See that? That's a problem. And here I thought it was me. And maybe it was a little bit me, but you compound that with any kind of variation coming down on the stick, plus that, then you've just multiplied your error. And let me get this put on the stick, and I will show you what I'm talking about. When you first get that head on there, well, let's see, I'm gonna get back here. Yeah. If you look at the bit, see how we're not lined up with the center line going down the handle? I can get this to clear up a little bit, but you can see, you can just see it right off the bat. It's crooked. Versus, there we go, whoops. There we go. You can see my bit is breaking right on the center line of the handle. So what are we gonna do with this? Well, this is gonna be nothing I can sell, but I'm either gonna keep it for myself, or I'm gonna send it to my, I'll correct it, of course, but I'll send it to my brother-in-law, because he's starting to get into axes. So I hope that gives you a little reference. That's why it's important to make that check. And then once you get down, you want to check this way, and you want to check this might do a video on trying to compensate for that, because I'm literally going to have to, like, let's do this. If this line is the center of my, let's line, well, I can't really do that. So if that line is the center line of my stick, I'm going to have to compensate and line that bit up. So it's going to come down. It's going to look crooked, but it's going to be aligned to the center line of the stick. And that is the key, really, to hanging any axe head. It's also why I don't like somebody pre-making my eye, because you don't know at the factory. I mean, they're running stuff through the bandsaw with their kerf. You don't know. It all depends on how they put it into the duplicating lathe. And so that's definitely something to check as well. This did have a center line on it, but basically before I form these, there's a center line that goes around the whole handle like that. And that's so that I know when this line disappears, here's the remnants of that line as I started draw knifing this. And this is the center line. And I can be very confident that this is the center of this. So when you're shaping this, the center line is the last thing you remove. The center line is final contour. But anyway, here's where you can avoid what we were looking at this morning. Just simply take that little straight edge and check to make sure that your head, that your eye, and your bit are lined up. I've already checked this one, so I know it's good. So now, then your other check is going to be to when you get this started, and you can see here, there we go. Okay, so we're getting started. Now this is a point where you want to stop and check alignment. So let me get this set up and we'll check alignment. Okay, we're set up. Now, oh, incidentally, Dean McGarry sent me this beautiful plum Tassie. It's got an old embossing on it. She's a runner. I think we're at about 18 degrees on that guy. So that's gonna be a nice chopper, very nice chopper. But anyway, let's look at our handle. So we're just assuming that we've checked our handle for any kind of bows or anything. We know our handle's straight, and we have leftover remnants of our center line, which really this is where you want them, because by the time you shape your handle, you know that this is center of the handle, so it's just kind of obvious. So we're going to check two planes of this. We're going to check this plane, and then we're going to check this plane. So you want to make sure that you're going to be coming down straight. You're not going to be going one side or the other. And then we're going to check, see if I can get this in the camera. So we're going to come up the straight line. And our bit should be dead center. See how we got that? Trying to hold it steady. That's pretty good. So we're dead center down here. Not only are we dead center on the swell, but that's not necessarily a reference point. We want to see, and you can guesstimate that. We're not building the space shuttle here, but you want that bit to be breaking right here. So then, so we know we're good. We know we're good this way. So now we want the side of the axe, the sides of the axe but not necessarily. And we're not gonna, our pole is not necessarily our reference point, because you don't always get a pole that coincides with your bit. Your bit is your center line, and your bit is what you want centered on your handle. And yes, especially with hand forged stuff, you can have a bit of a not perfectly square kind of pole and align it with your center line, and then your bit's off. So you want to be checking all of these things as things go along. But starting, so this way, we're good, and then this way, we're good. So now this thing is ready to come down and just proceed as normal. Just be, be patient, remove the material, don't get in a hurry. And then I got one last thing I want to show you. Look at this boat oar. Okay, here we have an old beaver tooth. Shoot, I could probably get two handles up. No, I'm just kidding. I've got a point of which I believe to be center. Now, if you take this and you stretch it to your kerf, look what you got. This is actually part of the reason that I don't buy beaver tooth handles anymore. Okay. Let's hold this kerf. Now, what does that look like to you? We're at the center of the butt of the handle, and we are at the kerf. Does the wood on either side of that string look equal to you? Well, that's because it's not. So now, in order to make that equal, take your string and just make it equal as best you can. Take an average of it. And we're going to move our string till we're about there. Let's see. We want to be about there. And this guy has run out. So if you look, this is our rough center line of the handle. Now look where that's headed. It's headed out of the center of the handle. So this is why alignment is important. It matters. Anyway, I hope these tips are helpful. It takes a while to develop an eye. I mean, look at this. This isn't even, these aren't even really the same. She's just off of the actual vertical axis of the whole shebang. Because on a straight handle it can be, but not always. But it is not on curved handles. Your turning axis from the lathe is not always the center of the handle. So just always think of those two things as being independent from each other, and do a little investigating before you start hanging. And happy hafting. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really means a lot to us, and it makes a difference. And thanks for watching. Talk to you later.